my sisters and I, we used to have a kind of a tape recorder radio, so we'd make our own radio show and we'd do all the songs as well, so we'd make up our own songs there. And I was in bands at school, and we had a bash at songwriting, but it was always that kind of terribly awkward teenage thing where you don't really want to put forward a line for a song, or you do put forward a line from a song and somebody else puts the line after it in and it absolutely murders what you thought, and you think, oh God, is this what songwriting's like? But when I got out and doing it on my own, I kind of started enjoying it like nothing else.
So it's quite nice to have sort of control of everything, isn't it? I think it sounds a bit freaky doing that, but it's quite nice to have sort of complete artistic control as such.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind co-writing at all, but it kind of I don't know if I'd want to go and write with 5 or 6 other people. That might be a bit too much.
Like
or
in the
chipping
band,
in a line and a word here and there. It's just complete chaos. It is quite nice to kind of have an agreed vision, and also kind of you can open up a little bit more if it's only one person who you sort of trust, and you can just go with it and not be worried that they're going to shout your idea down. And if they do, it's probably only because they're a good songwriter.
Well, I suppose that's the one thing. If you record something or create something and it dies, you really only got yourself to blame. But if it's a huge success, then you're very, very happy. You've been very successful. I mean, in 2010 you recorded your first album, which was called All's Well.
That's right, yeah.
Which was funded by the fans. Seems to be a lot of people have been doing that. I had a lady on a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, who had done that. That seems to be very popular, that fans fund the album.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, the first album wasn't fan-funded.
Oh, was it not?
No, that was the second.
Oh, that was the second one, sorry.
Yeah.
I can't read my own writing. I am terrible this morning. So that was Amy, wasn't it?
The first one was, it was a very strange kind of way that happened. I was going to work with a label at Norwich, and then they kind of, they let me down, unfortunately, and I'd got myself all geared up to record this album, so I got in touch with some friends in Norway, and we talked about maybe me going over there to record, the idea being that I would save up for it and it would get there. But the chap just turned around and he said, oh yes, but if you can come next week, we'll just do it for free, because I've got enough money and I want to do it. And it was kind of, it's a bit of a hippie, and he's like, yeah, I've got enough money now, and we'll just do it. So I got on a plane and went out, and we recorded a few songs. We ended up doing it over a few sessions, but it was really good. Got it made kind of free.
Because you go out to Norway and Scandinavia quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah, I try to. I really like it there.
And is the folk scene sort of very, very big out there?
There's a lot of sympathy for kind of music of the country Americana kind of flavour on the west coast of Norway, I think, because it's where there's a lot of transference from British and American and Irish music, and it kind of works like that. I haven't been to that many other places.
Okay, I've never been to Norway, so that's why I was asking the question. Really, it's somewhere I've never been, but there's loads of places I have been, but it's one place I've never been. So, and so you said the second album was that was Amy was that was the one that the fans funded.
Yes, yeah.
So that must have given you sort of great warmth, because of you'd released one album. The fans obviously loved it that much that they were willing to invest in you.
It's certainly in hindsight, it felt like that. It was always very scary for me, because it was somebody else's idea for me to do it. They kind of gave me a nudge, and I thought, well, okay. But it's always very scary when you kind of put yourself out there in that way. And of course, with pledge music, if you don't hit your target, you don't get anything, unless you're going to put the money in yourself to top it up. But the idea of me doing a fan-funded album is because I don't have any money, so it's kind of you do have to hit your target kind of thing. And also for me, I really wanted to make sure that fans, followers who did want to contribute were going to get something back from it that was worth their contribution. I have seen a lot of bands taking the fan-funded approach and just kind of playing on the kind of celebrity aspect of it, as in, fund my album because you're a fan and I'm a musician, and I don't think that's good enough. I wanted to make sure that the things that I were offering were, kind of customised or handmade, and that I put so much time in, enough time into it to kind of pay back for the contribution kind of thing.
Well, you did quite well because you were quickly championed by Radio 2's Steve Lamack. Now, that must have been great, you know, when Steve Lamack was giving, you know, your album a bit of a plug.
Yeah. He's been really good to me over the years. He's played everything I sent him, and he's also got something nice to say about it. And you know, I just feel really humbled every time he does it because I kind of keep it in the back of my mind. Oh, you know, I'm going more and more in the way of kind of sort of niche kind of genres. I don't know if you know one day he's just going to go, oh no, this isn't for me, or that he might just not like it for other reasons. But yeah, he's really remembered my name and helps me out with a radio play every now and then. It
is quite an easy name to remember, I must admit, because I'm terrible with names, as listeners to the show know. I'm frequently getting tracks wrong and people's names wrong, which is not good. I'll tell you what, we'll take a little break. We're going to play one of your a track from your new EP, which is Richer, Thinner, Smarter. Something I can't claim to be either three. Which track would you like me to play?
Sorry,
which track would you like me to play?
Oh right. Well, you could play the title track. If
play the title track, and then we'll come back and have a chat about the future and your influences and about the song.
Okay.
I wouldn't hear you asking after long faces, no. Wouldn't see you wasting your words. Yeah, you say about secrets good for keeping out the cold, but you're bold and you'll always be heard. And I wouldn't bat my eyes, wouldn't slip my hand up your thighs. Oh, woo you with sweet untruths and terrible lies. I wouldn't see you rich, I wouldn't wish you thinner or smarter. Not any other way, who wouldn't want you just as you are now? Well, I wouldn't catch you looking to the sky to take your cue, and you wouldn't care what creases it do. You could stay a non-believer in the company of wolves when they're tearing off pieces of you. And I wouldn't get you far with £2 and a donut card, passing off pieces of aid for a piece of my heart. And I wouldn't see you rich, no, I wouldn't wish you thinner or smarter. Not any other way, who wouldn't have you just as you are now? I wouldn't catch you sighing over fingers and thumbs, and I wouldn't want you wasting your time. See, these arms are neglected, and they're not expecting much, but they're lonesome and loath to be mine. And I wouldn't bat my eyes, and I wouldn't slip a hand up your thighs. Oh, woo you with sweet untruths and desperate lies. I wouldn't see you rich, I wouldn't wish you thinner or smarter. Not any other way, who wouldn't want you just as you are now? Not any other way, who wouldn't have you just as you are now?
The Drive Time Show with Nigel G every Monday to Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. online at seclosounds.org. The best mix of music and fun to wind down your day. Listen out for A Slice of Cheese, The Rotten Tomato and Remember the Bees. Intrigued? Don't miss the Drive Time Show with Nigel G every Monday to Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. on seclosounds.org.
That was Richer, Thinner, Smarter from Jess Morgan. Tell us a little bit about the title track, the song we've just heard.
Oh, right. It's a bit different to a lot of my other songs. It's what people always want to tell me afterwards, and I suppose it is. I was in Bristol. It was last year, and I'd come off about a little over a week of tour dates with Paper Airplanes, and we'd had such a great time. I really can't stress how wonderful it was touring with them. They're great people, and you know how it is when you hang around with a lot of people and then suddenly you're on your own. Like when you're little, if you go to a party or something, and you come home and you're like, oh, you just get that massive come down. And we'd sort of split off in Bath. I picked up my car and I'd driven to Bristol for my next gig, which was just me playing, and it was a terrible gig. It was awful. It was just the worst. It was just the worst kind of back to reality snap ever. But I went back to my hotel room and I thought, no way, I'm not gonna get down about it, and I kind of forced myself to write a happy song, and that's really where it came from. It's not the words in the song aren't really based on anything direct from life, except that I thought, no, I'm going to write something upbeat and something easygoing, and the chords are kind of C, F, and G. It kind of it just rolls along, okay. And wanted to write an interesting melody to it and just something that was positive.
Is a sort of the travelling probably the worst thing about gigging, would you say?
I really like the travelling, actually.
You do? Okay.
I really like the travelling. Obviously, I have to take the rough with the smooth. Sometimes it's a quick flight over and I'm in Rome and it's a scorching hot weekend, and sometimes it's 6 hours on the A1. But yes. It's kind of, in a hot black car.
Not nice, is it?
I really like the way I just get to... I'm really enjoying seeing different parts of the country, actually, in the way I just get to be different places every day.
Okay. Who would you say were your musical influences? Who sort of have made you the person you are? Apart from your dad and your school teacher. Actually, let's give your dad...
Definitely my dad, and the music that my mum and dad brought me up on. It was kind of... you can look back and say it might be slightly dubious. I was born in 1985, so I was kind of off the back of a lot of 80s kind of rock music.
Nothing wrong in that. That's my favourite.
Yeah, and straight into the beginnings of Britpop. But I think there's a real rich vein of storytelling songs in there, and in those kind of things, backed up by kind of emotional vocalists, with really killer voices. I heard Annie Lennox, Tina Turner, people like that from a young age. And then when I kind of got a little bit older, I got interested in singer-songwriters. I bought my first Bob Dylan album when I was at high school after our history teacher at school had played us a load of protest songs. And I just thought, wow, this is brilliant. And I got into that kind of solo voice and guitar, and I was going back to HMV at the time, and other music shops are available.
Oh, that's okay. We don't mind giving them a plug.
Mitchell, James Taylor, Carly Simon was a big door opener for me. I just went back and got CD after CD of hers.
Okay, it's quite interesting. So, if I've asked this question loads of times, is there anybody you would, if I could sort of arrange for you to be playing with somebody tonight, say either alive or dead, who would you like to sort of either record or play with?
Oh, wow. Oh, you should have given me more warning for that question. Let me see. I mean, I'm a massive Bruce Springsteen fan.
Are you?
Although I should think that's probably a bit of a common answer, so we won't take that one. But, oh, gosh.
Did you see Springsteen the other week? He was in London, wasn't he, at the Hyde Park? Did you manage to get to see him, or...?
No,
me neither.
I was probably somewhere else. I was down in Cornwall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Gosh, I can't think.
No, it's not. You've got no big sort of hero you'd love to record with or anything like that.
Oh, I do, yeah. But it's just stumbling on one. I mean, I really like that kind of that New York kind of vibe. New York in the 60s, 70s. I just read this book about Bob Dylan by Susie Rotolo, and I would have loved to have been around then.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had done a little tour with Bob Dylan or something, that would have been... Wonderful.
Wow, that's good. I mean, could you remember the